let's keep doing whatever we were doing. And frankly, I have no memory at all. Is there a way you find out what you were doing in this game? That's sometimes a thing in Final Fantasy, right? Maybe we'll just make sure my audio is working for a sec. Yeah, at least kind of working. That's good. Kind of working is pretty good when you think of the standards I've established. Only gonna play for about an hour. Bloodsword, still like that a lot. Alright, I was buying expensive equipment and some magic is available somewhere. But it was mostly magic that I can't yet catch. Oh, I do have a level 6 spell slot. I'll probably want that eventually. I have the Nautilus, and I use this for something. Going underwater? Yeah, going underwater down here. Down where that notchy thing is. No, let's give it a shot even though we can't afford all the things we want. Not always worth waiting around. Here, right? Temple of Time. I could really go for an NPC ally that does something. That would be novel for a few reasons. Ooh. And I learned that you can item cast using any weapon, whether it's equipped or not. And that the rods are quite a bit stronger. So here I am, scrolling through everything I own. Oh, Meiji guy's equipped with all the rods. Okay. We'll use the light staff. Hope my volume's okay relative to this music. This music seems pretty loud to me. Maybe I'll take steps to reduce that. Okay, that should be maybe a little better. Okay, that's the hope. I don't know. Maybe just better on my end. Yeah, I could go for a fire rod and a light rod if that's a thing. I have no idea if that hit a weakness or not. Been a long time since I streamed. We're in September. It's a busy season, and frankly, you don't know the half of it. I don't know why you would know anything about it when I haven't told you what it is. It has been a doozy of a month. I'm an educator. There's marking, and the marking has been nuts by any standard. And I was telling a group where I have 110 or more students. I have way more than 110 students, but 110 did the work. And I was saying to them, programming, if everything were perfect, I could mark 10 labs in an hour. And that means I could get the marking done in 11 hours on top of my regular work week, any preparation I have to do, being a person. So taking more than that much time is crappy. Yeah, basically I got no time for games anymore. Oh look, I got something. An achievement just unlocked. It must be related to killing certain amounts of enemies or something. I like the one little miss sound in there, but otherwise, that battle went really well. It doesn't get much better than that, considering I used no resources. And by resources, I mean spell charges. I have lots of the low-level spell charges, but above level 2, I'm at a deficit compared to the jobs I would normally have at this part of the game. Where do I buy those stabs I wanted? Or rods, rather? Didn't even need Ingus's turn. Which, of course, is part of the reason he is at a low job level compared to the rest of them. Stealing consumables, I mean, it's not really saving me a lot of money or anything, but it's convenient. Not having to buy them is good. I'm sure it has saved some amount of money over the course of the game. Then again, I have probably a lot more consumable healing items than I need. Diamond Helm, that sounds good. Thieves sometimes get surprising things in this game, but not a Diamond Helm. Wow. It's a big boost. Right, you just got that black cowl. Yeah, you're happy. That was pretty weak. That enemy must resist ice or something. Oh, or crit damage. Yeah, that enemy was poisoned. That was kind of neat. He's also got a staff that casts Break. Maybe I should be using that more. Oh, already taken. Yeah, right. So, I was thinking I would report in on my Final Fantasy IV hacking. And it was meant to just be a hack that would enable me to do my challenge play the way I have been. Well, it's not even a challenge, right? It's the novelty play, the classic play, as I've been trying to play through every Final Fantasy game using a party of Knight, Thief, White Mage, Black Mage. Same as you see on your screen, conveniently for reference. I can't seem to concentrate on more than one thing at a time, though, so that's good fun. It's going badly. I mean, it was going well. I've done a lot of planning. I'm liking the whole thing, so the idea I'm comfortable saying now, because I'm actually sort of working on it, though I might be back to planning stages, is you take the 14 characters of Final Fantasy IV, you lump them into archetypes, and by that I mean you treat Dark Knight Cecil as a Dark Knight. You treat Paladin Cecil as a Paladin. You treat Fusoya as a Sage and Tella as a Red Mage. So they're kind of blending into those Final Fantasy class archetypes, and they end up being some of the most common ones. You can't exactly do Blue Mage. You could somehow make that work with a lot of ASM hacking, but that's not my speed yet. Maybe one day I'll want to do that kind of thing, but today is not that day. And so then you would have free choice to make a party at any point, and all of the all of the game events that would swap your party members are, I guess you could say, adjusted, changed substantially. To allow for free choice and make a party. And in doing that, you need to consider some characters in Final Fantasy IV are designed to join later. Oh, I did one of those things where everyone attacked. Ingus isn't going to get a shot here, is he? Because I like when Ingus attacks, he'll gain job levels. So, most characters in Final Fantasy IV is kind of strange. Join at level 10. Oh, Ingus did get a turn. Yeah, they join at level 10. Cecil's level 10, Kane's level, or Dark Knight's level 10. Dragoon Kane is level 10. Rydia joins at level 1. Her and the paladin form of Cecil are the only ones who join at level 1. Tella starts at 20, and then his stats go down, which is kind of funny. Edward starts at 5, he's a bit of an outlier. Rosa starts at 10, Yang starts at 10, Palom starts at 10, Porom starts at 10. Cid starts higher, I forget, 20 I think? Anyway, most people start a little higher. And so the game's not balanced around starting with people at the beginning of the game, and their experience curves are also really wonky to account for the way the flow of the game works. Oh, diamond braces are for those guys. Well, you have the same defense. That can't be completely true, is it? You don't get to see their multipliers or anything, eh? But their agility and vitality are the same. So really, I guess I should just put it on Ark because he's the healer. That was a very minor defense boost anyway. The Rune Bracers, it's very likely they gave me a stat bonus that was better, but we'll see. I don't want to min-max here. I see no reason for min-maxing in this game. Whoops. Oh well. So I adjusted the curves. I analyzed stats for certain classes that weren't represented in that game. I had to come up with things. Some end up being represented in the after years. Or they're better represented in the after years, so you can pull some details out of that. The game also has really weird equipment balance, such that, for example, there are no daggers through almost the entire game, but a thief would tend to use daggers. Ninjas also use daggers, black mages also use daggers, but there are like 3 usable daggers in Final Fantasy IV in the base version. Intentionally leaving Ingus a little bit lower because of his blood sword. So you need to really rebalance the equipment, and you can't exactly add a lot into that ROM. That ROM doesn't do well with stretchiness. It's possible to do it. It's possible to do it. I'm not doing it. The commands would be adjusted because Rosa would be acting as a ranger rather than a white mage, and so Porom would get the pray command. The twin command's basically just gone, which is a bit of a shame. I'd like to do a little ASM hack to make it more usable. Cid, instead of the engineer, becomes the scholar, because there's not a lot else to being an engineer in that game other than the study command from this game. However, the Scholar can do kind of a Shades of Black thing and cast randomized magic. Would be the idea. You got a Summoner, you got a Ninja, all the things you'd expect. Oh, Ingus died. Oh. There's some things we're gonna have to figure out here, gents. The good news is we haven't made it very far at all. So we'll teleport out of here and feel pretty good about that. Who has teleport? Is this where that weapon store I wanted? Oh no, this is the Dragon Tower. No real reason to come back there as far as I recall. Except if I walk into it repeatedly by accident. That would be a reason. Now I don't want to make giant fundamental changes to Final Fantasy IV. I still want it to be Final Fantasy IV. Besides the fact that steel items will need to change, my hope is to make 0 edits to monsters. Can I buy magic for dead people here? What a funny thing to ask. I guess there's that Black Mage village and Doga's place are where you would go to buy things. Basically, I got those for item cast power, which I think is going to be helpful. But I should probably try and make sure my team is alive. That seems like a positive. And so, I did a lot of planning in terms of equipment, in terms of level ups. It's all very planned out. Some things I haven't done yet would be actually entering most of the data. And I have to edit the events, and so, what am I doing here? I forgot where I was going. I have to edit the events, and that's going to be tricky. And ideally, and I don't know if it's possible, I would like it to work such that in the training house that appears in multiple villages, you'll be able to walk in and... I'm just worried about noises in my house, making sure everything's okay here. Should I go buy magic, or will I not? I don't think I'll be able to afford it. Let's go back there and just see what we can do. And if it's just leveling, it's just leveling, that's good too. I think this is where I'm supposed to be. This one took a lot of beating, right? So the event editing is going to be tricky. I want you to be able to go to the trainer house and talk to a person. Event flags would be set such that you can remove party members and add party members. That would be my dream, and I think it's possible based on what I know about the game's mechanics. I think. That said, I've been doing my ROM editing now, and it's kind of exploratory, finding out other things I need to consider before I start entering all the data, which ended up being a good thing because today I went to open my delightful FF Forkster, or FF Forkcaster, I don't know what they call it, it's Forks to me, but I seem to have busted my ROM completely. I can no longer open the spell sets tab, and that's the only one. But I need to edit the spell sets, and no matter what I do to the config files, I can't do it. And it's only since I tried to change the config files for my own convenience. But even when I download a fresh copy of the whole app, it does not seem to help. Oops, that was an accident, but we'll see how that goes. Is this dragon one who likes to eat ice or lightning? Still can't tell. My stream name is I have very little idea what I'm doing. Is that appropriate? You could change that. I've changed it before, but now I can't seem to. Did they change things on me? This is great having a stream name. I have very little idea. At least it's still true. I do have very little idea what I'm doing in this game. I've never been to the Temple of Time before. I know that if I go, what's the song? Do do do. No. Do 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 do. That'll make something magical happen. Okay, don't use that lightning spell on me, you jerks. Refia having a boomerang is neat, so in most of the Final Fantasy games where there's actual equip options, the thief has throwing weapons, so there's being a thief introduced in Final Fantasy IV in my hack that, you know, I still hope it comes to exist, although it's quite a pain what's been happening there. Wow, that's some damage. Oh man, we're screwed. Oh, I can't even believe how bad that is. Oh, we're just done. I saved, right? Golly. Yeah, I saved with my new level, and I probably bought my equipment. Yeah, so we're kind of right here. But, man, this first couple times I fought Chimeras, it was easy. What the hell happened? I'm not a big fan of that lightning. And though I keep talking about purchasing magic and such, I don't expect that would help me with lightning problems. Yeah, let's just fight these guys. That's the ticket. We'll ignore our problems. It usually helps. Wow, that ice rod is weak. So yeah, FF4K, adjusting the config file seems to have made my ROM itself break, because I can no longer access that no matter, I've tried it on more than one machine, and it doesn't work. So it's busted. So I'm going to have to start from I do have a backup, but it's a while back. I may as well start from a clean copy. The planning doesn't go to waste, and that's kind of where most of the work and the thought has been. I've mapped out 70 levels for 14 characters. Final Fantasy IV was written in a clever way that allowed the developers to be kind of lazy. They did good stuff, but they were lazy. I mean, Fusoya never gains stats. Kella loses stats and then stops losing stats. It's designed to record as few levels of progress as possible. And the way the stat maxing works in Final Fantasy IV with that arbitrary value switch above level 70, that's kind of, I think, kind of a part of the same philosophy that those developers have. I hope we go before Refia. Oh, nope. Oh good, she's not that strong when she hits us. She's gonna get job experience for that. For stabbing a white mage. It is not my intent to adjust maps, enemies, just about anything. But the method of selecting your characters will be radically different. How's our Phoenix Down supply doing? It's pretty good. Let's just see if we can get through this freaking dungeon. I have no idea how long it is. I should maybe be prepared for a longer slog. Waterfalls are a good place to put secrets. If I had a place with a waterfall, I'd put a secret in it. So that's why I check. If you ever come to my place and there's a waterfall, you should look. Look at the waterfall. Pay attention. I went to the trouble of putting in a waterfall. You should look at it in detail. I'll probably put a chest there. I'll put some money in the chest. Or one single small consumable item. Not two. You never put two things in a treasure chest. What in the world? I don't know if this enemy petrifies, but I'm so glad that didn't petrify. Yeah, in these older games it wasn't expected that you would be perfectly loaded out for each dungeon. I still feel a little underdressed, which is funny, because I think I have everything I want except for a little bit of magic. Let's kill this Chimera Mage, because it's going to ruin my day. Oops. Maybe that'll end up being a wonderful thing I accidentally did there. Final Fantasy IV is neat with the way its stats were, and I mean, it was normal in these early games. The way multipliers work, and yet eventually have these levels where certain aspects of your growth are really significant. It's cool. I like the idea of gaining a level mattering sometimes, and sometimes less. And so I have it set that, like, gaining level... Your growth is pretty limited before level 20. And that's partly to do with the way Final Fantasy IV is based on level 10 characters at the start. It also had a very slow introductory growth curve. Your characters grew a lot more after level 20 than they did before level 20. So the first 10 levels are almost nothing. It ramps up to 20. 20 through 50 are quite strong, and then it peters out. Which, that's the curve I have. It's not quite entirely based on the source game, but it's close. Oh. I hope I don't have a wipe from lightning spells again. Party wipes suck, especially like the kind that you absolutely can't predict. Defender's usually pretty great. I'm looking forward to this. Oh, look at that! And a blood sword. That's cool. I can even cast Protect. I've been waiting for buffs, but am I really going to cast them with ingots? I don't know. You know what's neat? That Defender graphic looks so much like the one from Final Fantasy Tactics. It doesn't look like a sword that would actually help you defend. Like, I guess it's magic, but whoa. Dude, that went quick. But that crossguard looks clumsy, like it's angled, so wouldn't anything coming at you just kind of rip your arm off? The seahorse is, he's not a chimera, but he's still a bit of a dick, so we're going to focus on him. Still not very strong. It must be an ice resistance. But then again, these guys aren't taking a lot of damage from the rods. Well, that one sure did. I should remember that. I should be using my lightning rod with Luna. He'll be doing that kind of damage. I should probably also be using my level 1 cure outside of battle a bit more. Hey, that's substantial. It's gonna be good. Oh, this guy is bigger. It's called Dragon. Should I be scared? I feel like I should be scared. Let's fight it. We have a defender now. "27 hits. You hit a dragon 27 times before it moved, and it didn't seem to care." Okay, lightning was not good. Ice was also not very good. Violence. Violence is fairly good. It just sat there. There has to be a reason for that, right? Am I doomed? Is that what's happening? Doom? Is doom happening? That wasn't that bad. Oh. This guy's slow. I wonder if that was purposeful. Whoa, nice one. Oh, not so nice one. Cool. We won. With only one of us face down in the dirt. 9,000 gold, that's pretty nice. There's no real purpose in it. I don't know, are we getting stronger? It's hard to tell. I keep feeling like every encounter is going to end me, but maybe I should just grind. Don't want anything embarrassing to happen. So I'd be so embarrassed if something bad happened on my heavily watched stream. Another locked door. There's probably goodies here. Oh my goodness. This thing looks terrible. It's an actual behemoth. Aren't we early in the game? Maybe we're not. I'm gonna run. We are not messing around here. No, not Super No, Super Nintendo. This is the Final Fantasy III that was original. Oh, shoot! Originally on. This was the Famicom Final Fantasy III, and then they did the remake for DS, and they've ported it to everything. This is Steam. So Super Nintendo Classic is kind of funny. It says it has Final Fantasy III, but it's the one that's Final Fantasy VI. I don't know. Are people stream? They must be streaming from their SNES Classics now already, right? You're gonna have to keep looking if that's what you want to see, though. Unfortunately. Yeah, it's confusing. People have known it's confusing for a long time. I wish I could blind this guy or something. Oops. Yeah, Final Fantasy III on the SNES Classic is the one that starts out with Terra and Magitech armor. This is the true Final Fantasy III as a way of putting it, yeah. It is, but... Well, I mean, yeah, it is. There are people who would... People are fickle about how things are named, so... I think you'll hear it different ways from different people. But I think most people would agree this is the true Final Fantasy III. Oops, I keep guarding with him accidentally. There's no confirm on the guard action. Magic is not very effective against behemoths in almost all of the games. No, I know. Well, I'm in Canada and it's not really any different here. But I was exposed to the series as they were coming out. I played Final Fantasy I when it was new. I had no idea until the advent of the internet that we missed 3 Final Fantasy games. It's not that 3 and 6 are swapped, it's that... So what happened was they had Final Fantasy I, and it was the same in both. Then there was Final Fantasy II, and they chose not to release it in the US and Canada, anywhere really outside Japan. And then same with 3, because the Super Nintendo was coming out, and they only wanted to support the newer system. This guy's not hurting as badly as the dragon was a minute ago. So they supported Final Fantasy IV, but they brought it here as Final Fantasy II so that people wouldn't think they missed games. They had, but that's not what they wanted people to think. And then there was Final Fantasy V, and they really thought about porting that. There was some effort made, but they didn't do it. And so Final Fantasy V stayed in Japan, and so when Final Fantasy VI was ported to international markets, it was brought as Final Fantasy III. Hey, thanks. And then what happened was kind of like it was a story of globalization. When Final Fantasy VII came out, the internet had become kind of mainstream in suburban America, and people were aware that it was Final Fantasy VII, and so Square Enix or Square Soft, said, we're just going to release it as Final Fantasy VII everywhere, and we're going to acknowledge that the other games exist. And that's kind of where it started. Things got back on track with Final Fantasy VII. I understand why they did what they did, but it did make a bit of a mess. Yeah, they lied to us a little. They lied to us about a few things, really. There's a lot of people who are still butthurt about the quality of Final Fantasy 4 and 2. Does the SNES Classic, Super Nintendo Classic have, I don't think it has Final Fantasy 2, does it? It's just 3, right? Because 2, the port was funny. They made some funny localization decisions with that game. Oh. Just moved my hand on my chair in an awkward way. I'll be okay. Three in Mario RPG. Mario RPG is pretty great. What's funny is I remember people not liking it at the time because they thought it was small scale, short, and easy. But it's really nice for what it is. Secret of Mana and Earthbound are both excellent. They didn't do Chrono Trigger, eh? It's a pretty big deal. But you know, Earthbound's a pretty neat thing to have on that machine. Actually, someone here I've been following a little, Background Guy 02, playing Earthbound right now. When I think about it, they're probably on a SNES Classic. Same reviews? What reviews? Oh, Mario RPG, right, yeah. Yeah, people didn't seem to warm up to it right away, but, you know, a lot of time you come in with expectations and it affects your perception of a game, but then when you accept the game for what it is, you realize how good it is. Trying to think of examples of that, but Mario RPG is a really good one. If you come into Mario RPG expecting Final Fantasy, you're going to be disappointed. But, if you go into Mario RPG expecting Mario RPG, you're going to be pretty happy about it. I don't know, this thief door looks like it might be leading to the end. I think I'm going to fight this behemoth, because the last one really wasn't that bad. But my mages may as well guard, because they're not really contributing. Yeah, Earthbound carts are still expensive. I still have my Earthbound SNES cart. I don't have the strategy guide still. I don't know how that got misplaced, but I don't have it. Yeah, so it's kind of funny that the Super Nintendo Classic is literally cheaper than Earthbound in most markets. You know, that was funny actually when those Sega collections started being released. There's one that came out on PS2. I think it was called Sega Genesis Classics or something generic like that. And it came with a whole bunch of Sonic games, and it had, I forget if it had any Shining Force. It had a few other things I liked though. But it had Phantasy Star 1 through 4. And, no, sorry, 2 through 4 because it was Genesis. But yeah, it was kind of funny. It said, you bought this game for maybe $60, probably less. Phantasy Star 4, when it was released, cost over $80 in the US. And it said, you're welcome. That was in like the production notes for Sega Genesis Collection for the PS2. Phantasy Star 4 is my favorite. Probably my favorite game, frankly. I was going to be more specific, but it's probably my favorite game. And it was expensive in its time. It had some kind of special hardware in the cartridge that they really had a crazy price tag on that one. But I like that the game said, you're welcome for that. And Phantasy Star 4 is one of those games, much like, you know, Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, and such, stands up well today. When you go to play it, you don't feel wrong. And the rest of the Phantasy Star series isn't like that. They haven't aged well. Phantasy Star 4 is just great. I don't want to fight this stupid dragon again. Do I have to fight it? That was a close call last time, and it wasn't fun. I think maybe it's a non-escapable battle. Any tips about... yeah, I do have tips for you. I can tell you some good ones, actually. I love that game. I feel like I know it fairly well. What kind of gamer are you? Are you a kind of person who just wants to experience the game fairly naturally, or do you need to do a perfect run on your first try? That matters a great deal in saying that. If you want to experience the game fairly naturally, I still have some reasonable advice, spoiler-free if that matters to you. I can tell you some things. Wow. Oh, shoot. You like perfect runs. Okay. You're gonna have a hard time. I don't recommend perfect runs for your first time through that game. I have no way to win right now, so I'm gonna try running. And this sucks, because I've been doing pretty well. Hey! That was a shitty situation. I'm pretty glad that worked out. I hate using these Phoenix Downs. They're not really widely available, but I don't want to start this dungeon again, so... Wow. Okay, you like a perfect run. Here's the thing with Final Fantasy VI. There is a form of stat maxing, and it makes an enormous difference. The difference between stat max characters and non-stat max characters, unlike some games, is very observable. And stat maxing isn't super straightforward. If you mess up in the early game, you affect the late game. The best way to stat max, and I'm not saying perfect stat max, you still want to enjoy the game, but what you want to do is keep your levels low. And that means running from non-trivial encounters and not grinding heavily. There's an area in the game, in the fairly early game, and there's no spoiler here, it's called the Veldt, V-E-L-D-T. And there you can fight any enemy you've fought so far. They come in random packs, and you don't gain experience. So you can fight as many enemies as you want to gain money, to gain abilities, to gain item drops, without gaining any experience. So if you want to keep your levels low, a good thing to do is grind at the Veldt. V-E-L-D-T. I'll write it in here. So that's one thing. So you want to keep your levels low. There's a few strategies around keeping your levels low. Running isn't even a bad idea. And if you keep your levels, it's pretty easy to beat the first half of the game or so with levels below 10. It's mathematically possible to do it around 7, but hard and you wouldn't have a good time. No, I know you're delayed. Yeah, everything's the way it is, you know. So there's that. Then what you do is Final Fantasy VI is the one where you gain access to magical things called espers. You attach them to your characters, you learn magic. It's not unlike Materia in Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, staying around 10 is okay. If you go a little over, like, you're gonna... Trying to get the perfect low-level game is gonna be hard, especially your first time through. And my advice on that would be, it probably doesn't make sense to bother on your first time through, but you said you like a perfect game, so... yeah, staying around 10, probably not too hard. The game is easy. I mean, stat maxing isn't critically important, but if you want to stat max for personal enjoyment, because you can do some incredible things with max stats in that game, but you don't need to. It's an easy game. Oh, this fucking dragon. I know I can run now, so I'm going to. Luneth can run, but you can't run with your flee command? Come on now. So you get access to Espers. Espers have level up bonuses. If you've played a lot of the series, it's almost like Final Fantasy VIII, where you gain an ability called like Stir bonus or whatever, and you gain a point of strength every level. It works kind of like that. So you equip the Esper you want, and you gain experience, and then you get some stat points with your level. That's the gist of it. So what you'll do is you'll wait until you have Espers. If you want them in the early game, there's one called Bismarck that gives you 2 points of strength. And there's one called Zone Seek that's a little bit hidden that gives you 2 points of magic. And those two are the best ones for leveling. Pretty much in the whole game. I mean, there's other ones you can get later that also have Strength +2 and Magic +2. But you can get those ones early and use them to level up your whole team. I don't use shields, so I'm not going to put that on, but that's nice to find. And that's really the best leveling strategy. You can spend the first half of the game gaining large amounts of strength and magic, especially magic. The strength formula doesn't have the same kind of exponential calculation as magic. So if you boost magic, your magical abilities get really, really, really exceptionally powerful. You followed me, but I've been streaming very infrequently lately, so it's nice to make contact, and I'm happy to help, but I don't know if you'll see me that much. I don't even remember why I'm here. What is this thing? Noah's Loot. Oh, yeah. Is there a boss? Huh. So you gain levels with Bismarck and Zone Seek to get really strong. I feel like there's going to be a boss, but this was a terrible little dungeon. Maybe I'm low level. I don't feel low level. Should I teleport out of here? I can fight these behemoths. I was scared of them at first, but they do not seem to be that hard compared to some of the other things I've been encountering. I have a question. If I use the Defender's ability to cast Protect... Oh, I can't multi-target. How does Protect work in this game? Yeah, low level, gaining those, training in the Veldt if you don't want to gain levels. Good way to gain money. Farm some drops if that's a thing you want to do. What else? Okay, here is the most important piece of Final Fantasy advice for Final Fantasy III on Super Nintendo that would wreck your day if you didn't hear it. And I'm serious. There's a part at kind of the halfway point of the game in a climactic scene where you're given the choice to wait or not wait. And you want to wait. It's weird. There's a part where you are sold, do you want to wait or do you want to keep going? And what you want to do is wait. Sorry, I think I might have said not wait before. You want to wait. You want to. It's very weird. There's a clock on the screen ticking down. Then you want to wait until almost the last second, and I do mean literally the last second. And that one would be a major completion thorn in your side if you didn't do it. Are you still with me, or are you the one who just left? Because that last part was important. I just said something important and someone just came back in. Is that Disneyland Periscope? Because I did just say something important. Check in, please. Final Fantasy III 6 is a great game. Among my favorites, for sure. And I'd hate to have wrecked it for you, so I want to make sure you get that last part. Is my chat working? Because for some reason it just popped up, welcome to the chat room, and that's never terribly encouraging. I should also ask if anyone knows anything about the game I'm playing. What do I do now that I got Noah's loot? I don't remember what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, I thought that would kill it. I wonder what my job levels are like now. $89. These guys are in the 50s. Angus is in the 40s. Okay, I'm gonna say it again, because I'm not sure about my chat connection with this ominous message here. These guys almost wiped me earlier. I would be very disappointed to lose now. Maybe I should teleport out. Then I just said I was gonna say it again, and now someone left the room. Okay. The Final Fantasy III thing that would totally wreck your day if you didn't do it is during a climactic scene, when there's a timer ticking down on the screen, you will be given the option to wait or not wait, and you want to wait until very nearly the last second. Otherwise you miss something fairly important that will impact your experience in the second half of the game. Did I say that in a clear enough way? And fairly spoiler-free, right? I'm happy gaining levels, because that means a little bit of survivability. I'm pretty sure that command is supposed to escape more effectively than regular running. I don't remember where Une is. I think I'm gonna get out of here and probably be done for the night. I didn't want to stream a long time, I want to get some sleep tonight. This is two enemies who are dicks, but the Chimera's a bigger dick. Wow, she's strong. And I wrote in the little descriptor text there something like a fairly passable fighter. Really, she's running things here. And for a while, she was defensively the strongest, too. That was a thief door. Is there anything over here? If there's not, then I should probably just escape and try to live. Because I don't think there are any other passages I didn't go down. That's nice. That's probably also nice. Ooh. Do I want to keep the boomerang? Because if I switch to Poison Dagger, I'll need to put her in the front row for full power. Is that worth it? So right now, we've got Strength 32, Vitality 37. Strength... Oh, it's nicer. Okay. Super. Okay, I think that's everything in here, and I need to go. But I don't remember where Une is. But in the interest of living, because I consider that paramount, we're gonna get out of here. We'll find a place to go to an inn. Maybe not Saronia, because it's confusing. Hey, you know what? I should try and check if I can buy some of that magic I wanted. See that there's no automatic mini-map. I mean, I know this is a port of an old game, not port. Remake. Is this, this is where the secret village is, right? This is slow. Wow, she's strong. So I just wrote in the chat, is chat working? Because I had said that other thing, and then the person who I was conversing with about Final Fantasy III advice, I need to fix my widget or whatever. Thanks for the follow, so that now I can see that my widget's busted. I wonder if I can fix that on the fly. I'll need a fix on that somehow. Alright. So yeah, I had been giving Final Fantasy III advice, and the person who... I think they might have missed the most important thing I was saying, which would be pretty disappointing. That knife looks cool. Kind of gold and curved. It is funny, I mean, I really do know Final Fantasy III pretty well. Not some amazing guru of the game, but I know it pretty darn well. And many of the Final Fantasy games. But it is funny that you come to a stream titled, I have very little idea what I'm doing, and ask for advice. I'm not telling you you shouldn't listen to my advice, or that my advice is bad. It just seems kind of silly. Full disclosure. Yeah, and if people are popping in because of the Super Nintendo Mini Classic, they're going to be slightly disappointed. Hopefully only slightly. I mean, I'm not that disappointing, am I? Those are summons. Can't do anything with those for my purposes. Oh, these are important. Haste. I bet that's nice. Faraga's probably more important. We can afford 5 of these. Well, I think, frankly, warp is probably the least important. Well, Stona, we have gold needles. What's the point of that spell? I'll just wait on the other ones until I have need. I have all these, right? Oh, level 7 magic. That's actually my highest. I can never use higher than 7 because I'm sticking with the mage classes. That's all pretty good stuff. Alright. Let's see. We're gonna learn Iroga. And we're gonna learn Haste. We're gonna learn Faraga. And we're gonna learn Bio. Cool. Yeah, it'll be funny with Lunith having all those level 1 magic charges. They're completely impractical. I have those things mostly. I'm gonna need to figure out when I can do the Legendary Smith quest soon, because Ruffia's job level is incredibly high. 90. That'd be pretty sweet to get her a special item. It wouldn't even take long to get to 99 if I wanted to just grind it out. But yeah, it's a work night for me, and the main reason I wanted to stream tonight is just because I hadn't in ages. So I'm not planning on lingering long. I'll get to an inn before I stop, though. And then I think I might end up, if I can figure out how to host, because I'm kind of relative noob on Twitch, I would host Background Guy 02 on his Earthbound run. That sounds pretty good to me. That's a nice strong attack. I like having the Defender. Those weapons were big upgrades. The Defender and the Behemoth Knife. It certainly made fighting those behemoths and dragons easier. Where do I go to get to a convenient inn? Maybe one of those little island towns, Repleto or something? I really don't recall where I'm supposed to go next anyway. But I'm going to be done for today. Don't worry about it. Here's a nice place to stop. Duster, right? Yeah, Duster. We're gonna want some more high potions. Well, there goes all the money I saved. I guess I'm glad I saved it. Okay. To recap, Final Fantasy III, keep your levels low. A good way to do that is to do all your training at the Veld. And the other key thing, and it's more key, is during a climactic scene where there's a timer ticking down on the screen, when you are given the option to wait, wait. And you wait until very nearly the last second. Otherwise you miss something very important in the second half of the game that you will regret. Is that good? I hope that helps someone. Okay. This is some progress. That dungeon was a little hard. I should try to find out if I'm maybe below expected levels. Anyway. I think this is on track. And I'm happy I finally got a chance to stream. It's been a couple weeks, frankly, so that's good. And thanks a couple people who are watching, a couple of new follows. That's nice. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good night. Let's see if I can host someone here. Oh, it turns out they're not on SNES Mini. It's pretty clear. So now okay, having some problems here. I'll just forget about the share. I'll figure that out another time. Okay, thanks.